Hello friends, it's Astro here and welcome back to the Snowy Slammer, where it is snowy. It's winter, it's snowy, and it's -1 degrees in the centigrade. I often, I grew up calling it Celsius because that's the name of the system, and then I hear British people occasionally saying centigrade, and I'm like, what the heck does that mean? I only found out recently centigrade means 100 steps. Which makes sense, because it's like literally at 0 degrees water freezes, at 100 degrees water boils, although once upon a time it was up the other way, so Celsius is an interesting system in and of itself. But that, my friends, is completely unrelated to the reason that we are here today. We are here today to fill this prison out. And I saw a bunch of comments both in the Discord and in the comments relating to a few things, namely, Astro, why do you make your prison such a big square blob every time you put a prison together? Wouldn't you prefer that your prison be, kind of interesting and fun? And you know what? It's a good thought. It's a good thought. I'm going to take that on board. The other one was that the kitchen ain't gonna, or the canteen, sorry, ain't gonna operate because there are no big benches, but the small tables should do the trick. Like this canteen here isn't complaining about things being broken, so theoretically it should be okay. And I just saw, Guard Pavilion. That's the new thing that I get to play with as well. Guard Pavilion Corner. Oh, well that's a new thing. Because there was a Guard Pavilion before, which looks like this, which has a circular platform on it, but now there's a Guard Pavilion Corner, which has been added as well. So if there's a Guard Pavilion Corner, does that mean that there is a new wall type that you can connect to it? I guess that'd be the perimeter wall? We'll have to have a play with that. Have to have a look around. Anyway, let's see. Today, let's have a look at a little bit of research and get some things underway. I think we should have a look at getting an extra grant, because that's a real quick and easy way to get extra money up our sleeve. And I think the warden should probably get started on micromanagement, and then after that we'll have a look at maintenance, because it's filthy out there. It's absolutely disgusting, and the sooner we can get ourselves a cleaning cupboard, the better. Because look at all this guff that's all over the floor here, and all this filthy, dirty filth that's in the reception area. Disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. But we can look at getting that underway. Now, speaking of money and grants, let's see what we can do about getting some additional grants underway. Now, I feel like if I have a little zoom out here, we're kind of boxed in for size until we expand. But I can look at putting our first cell block up here, and then maybe have another little one down here. But I need to leave some space here for a staff room, so that our chums up here, the guards and cooks and whatnot, can have a bit of a better time of their environment. At the moment it's very cold, and they need warmth as much as anyone else does. So we need to bear that in mind and keep some space open for it. Maybe we'll have one indoors as well. I'm not sure. We'll have to have a think and see how we feel. So, grants, I reckon, inmate health and well-being, medical ward doctors, psychologist, we can look into that, although we would have to unlock the psychologist, so that's a thing to think about, and medical as well, don't we? Yes, health and psychology, so it's $1,000 to even start pushing towards that, right? So that's something to think about. Visitation rights is always an easy start, to get little visitor rooms set up. I think that staff well-being is probably a good and easy way to get ourselves set up for our next grant. And then, you know what? Let's go ahead. We're already researching cleaning, like maintenance, cleaning, groundskeeping. Let's push down this path so that we can get down to those two grants and get them underway. I think that'll be a good way to go. So, prison maintenance, that's going to happen as the research happens. Staff well-being, let's give our staff a staff room, maybe two, so that they can have a place to rest and recuperate and do whatever it is that they need to do. Now, what I can do is I can continue building on this block down here, or I can build internally. finally, the other option that I would have is to extend this fence and allow my staff direct access through the fence into this area. And I think that's probably how I'm going to play it. Just because I kind of want to have this section sealed off, but still within the realms of the prison, if that makes sense. So it means that staff are going to have to come through the reception to get to work, but I think that that's okay. So what we're going to do is if we then go with some fences here, and then I stretch this out all the way to here, all the way down like this, and we'll have it going all the way down to the edge of the map, and I'll give it a little bit of extra reach off to the left here. Lovely. I think that should do as well. We can then get ourselves a staff-only fence gate to allow people into this area. I probably should have reconsidered putting it there quite so soon. You know, getting the fence completed first is probably not a bad idea, but it should be okay. It should be okay. And I guess now the next thing we need to consider is getting ourselves a little staff room. So with our foundation tool here, if I put it like this and back it onto the fence, it's going to be very tight. So what I might do is bring it down here like this and then connect it up with this existing office, which is going to leave not much space for any further offices, because these are, what, 6 by 6, and then this is 6 by 6, and then this, oh dear, hang on, okay, cancel that out. How am I going to make this so it works really nicely? I tell you what, I'll just give myself some more space, shall I? We'll get our fence. Where's fencing? Fence. And then we'll just bring this up like this, and then across yonder, and then we can cancel that, and then demolish this wall here. I'm playing with fire a little bit, but it's okay. We're just making a little staff compound where our friends in the staff area can have enough space to do all the things that they need to do. So we'll speed up a little bit. We'll let these guys do their thing. They're going to take these, or take these down as well. Just because I don't want those trees anywhere near my fence line. It is a bad idea to have any fences near to any of your trees, because they can be used as a climbing thing. I have made a boo-boo by putting this fence in, or removing this fence prior to completing this one, but it's okay. Things have been taken care of. Now this next fence will get done up, so we can get in, grab ourselves our brick foundations, and I think this foundation can just plop straight in, just like this. There'll be a nice little gap there. There's space for additional activities, so we might even have the hospital out here so that it can be completely segregated as well, now that I stop and think about it. And that, you know, basically, prisoners need to be led through that area, through that fence, to be able to get into the hospital. I think that might be a great way to go. So, let's get ourselves a door there. And we're going to need to think about temperature down here as well, because I haven't put any heating in these rooms whatsoever. So if we have a look at utilities and we get ourselves a large pipe coming down this way, we can bring it right to there. We'll grab ourselves a water boiler, which can be, if we pop it there, it'll connect automatically to both power and the cold water big pipe. And then we can get ourselves a couple of little pipes that run along like this. And let's see, what's in these rooms? Oh, look, that's just perfect. Absolutely perfect. I mean, I'm going overboard by producing these. I could possibly get away with, like, putting in a window or something to that effect, but it's okay. We'll just have one radiator per office to get us underway and keep these staff members happy, and then we'll have one in the staff room here. So what do we need in our staff room? We just need to build a staff room. So that's fairly easy. All we need to do is get a staff room down like this, and then satisfy its minimum requirements, which are fairly easy, all told. All we're going to need is, what? A wide sofa. We need at least one of them. And we'll have these down near the heater here, so that the guys can have a little bit of warmth while they're sitting down for a chat. I'm going to go ahead and pop in the drinks machine as well, down back here behind the sofa. And I'll be nice. I'll give them a serving table. And then a small table. We'll have two. And then some benches, which they can sit at. 1 and 2, 1 and 2. Lovely. So there we go. And we'll need some lights in there as well. So we'll pop in just some regular lights, or are we going to go with wall lights? Let's have a wall light over the serving table, and then a regular light over each dining table, and then one right in the middle here. I don't need to do it that way, but I do feel like doing it that way. It feels nice. Okay, and we need to connect that wall light directly. As far as I know, that hasn't been changed. Actually, let's cancel that. And let's see, because there's been a hotfix recently, and they've added such things as the additional tower that we saw a moment ago. Let's see, when this thing goes in, if they've been nice enough to change it from being a high voltage circuit, i.e. it needs to be connected directly to power, to being a low voltage circuit where it connects, because like if you look at the normal lights, they get this thin little line that connects back to a high voltage circuit, and it sort of does that automatically as long as it's within range. So if we keep an eye on this wall light, which is coming in now, is it going to get auto-connected? The answer is no. It still needs an HV connection, which is still, again, a bit... Or does it? Oh, I guess it is now connected directly, but it doesn't show up with a black line. Very interesting. Okay, well, at least it's connecting via an LV circuit now. Even though the circuit's not displayed, at least it is connecting. And I'm happy for that. That is a nice addition. Because before, it was not the best. It was not the best. I didn't like having to do things that way. While we're out here, let's get ourselves some, paving stones? I feel like paving stones. And we'll get these connected down so that when these guys are walking about, they can walk on some nice paving stones instead of trudging through the snow. We're going to get another circuit that comes up here like this and across to this door. And then we may as well connect all of these areas up as well. So we're going to have a little row coming up out of each of these, and then a central path that comes all the way back down to here. And then we'll have a think about what we're going to do with the yard. Now, hopefully, what's going to happen is that garden keepers are going to take care of the snow. I haven't actually really had to deal with snow that much in the past, so it'll be interesting to see how this goes together. Now, last but not least, we need 5 guards with unassigned activities, and that should be relatively simple. We do need some more guards because we're kind of running low. So let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, good. Probably didn't need quite that many, but 10 dudes, it's probably going to be nice. We're going to allow prisoners to keep coming in. I'm going to let them come in at 8 per day for the time being, just until we have a good population and to keep my daily cash flow up and running, keep it ticking along. Because, well, cash flow is what makes a prison in the long run, and what makes any business, quite frankly. So keeping that ticking up, I think, is going to be a good thing for us to do. And check it out. The path is actually there, but it is covered with a little bit of snow. So I guess we just need to keep an eye on that, make sure that things are going okay. Maybe we can put a hedge either side of it. Would that be nice? I think that'd be real nice. Not just yet, though. Not just that. And this light's kind of in the wrong spot, so let's relocate that just to there. We'll pick up this notebook page, which is about the daily routine, called a regime. Update. Much too much micromanagement. Huh. Sounds like my daily routine. Cool. Okay. Nice. I love picking up notebook pages. I'm still surprised that I haven't got them all, but I feel like part of that is because, well, most of the time I'm playing and talking and trying to concentrate on 2 things at the same time, and as a result, you know, when you're concentrating on talking and playing the game at the same time, you kind of don't pay attention to other stuff that's going on, right? You don't keep your eyes peeled like a hawk for little things like that. So there's plenty of times where people shout at me in the comments and go, "Gordon Bennett, how did you miss something that obvious?" Like when I was playing Rimworld on stream on Sunday, people were like, "How did you not see that sword that was lying on the ground? Are you blind?" And the answer is, look, you get confuzzled when you're playing and streaming at the same time. Anyway, let's check on maintenance and all of these bits down here that we're doing. So we've got micromanagement complete, and we've got our extra grant done. So let's get maintenance. And Meredith, I think you should be able to get us tax relief now, just to keep our cash flow, as I said, steadied down and keep things ticking along there. Grants-wise, now that we've completed the staff room grant, I think we might look at some of the other ones that we can get access to. So we could look at inmate health and well-being. We're going to have to put a bit of an outlay into getting that done. And visitation. So visitation should be fairly easy. We'll grab that one. Security procedure. There's a lot of unlocks to get that done as well. And reform through education. Again, you need to research education. So do I want to just start working on getting my first cell block up and running? While we've got prisoners coming in, we can then use this as a sort of storage zone for more prisoners and start amping this place up a little bit. I feel like that's the best way to go. It's the biggest reach, I think, in build cost. Like, the other ones are fairly, like, inmate health and well-being is fairly cheap. To research health and psychology, build a single office and a tiny little infirmary, relatively inexpensive. Cell block A, we've got to build 15 cells, which are, sort of $1,000 a throw, depending on the quality of the cell that you're building. So, yeah, this one might be, it might cost us a little bit of money, but I'm going to do it with the intention of hopefully using that as a way of keeping these guys happy and under control and being able to push a little bit further and make this prison a little bit bigger. And I'm not liking that floodlight is on the right, the not lined up with this one. Let's move that one up by 1 notch. And we need to reconnect them both to power. So 1 there and 1 there. Okay, cool, excellent, good. So, and there's a whole bunch of log. While I love log, I don't like it lying about. So let's get ourselves an export zone, which is here. We'll just have a cheeky little one here. We still do need to get our deliveries room set up so that it's not exposed to the elements like this, because these guys at the moment, Callaway and also, Ozone, hold still please. Ozone Raxi. Fair enough. Okay, that's a name that I've not experienced before. But it's totally fine. People can have strange names, that's acceptable. Let's do a new fence, and we'll get this stretched up, straight up like this, and we'll bring that right up to the edge of the property. Oh dear, we've got a lake here. Oh, that's okay. It should be able to go around like that, and then we can just have the lake exposed, because prisoners can't swim, evidently. And let's go with objects, dismantle, and we'll get any of these additional trees out of the way. We can chop them down and sell them up for lumber, and basically, turn a bit of a profit whilst securing our prisoner and making sure that it's nice and easy for our guys to keep under control. So up in this section is going to be, I think, the first cell block. And you know what? Hang on. Let's go with this fence that I laid down here. Let me cancel that one out. And what I'll do is I'm going to have a visitor zone, like a visitor room, that actually pops out of the prison itself. Okay, so it'll be, let's see, 15, which would be 13 internal. I want that to be an even number, because I'm going to use visitor tables. Visitor, what are they called? Visitor booths instead of visitor tables. Now, in the past, in a visitation area, you had to use a visitor table up front to get it to recognize that it was a visitor area. And then you could, add your visitor booths later on after dismantling the visitor tables, which was a little bit, a bit annoying that the visitation room didn't recognize a visitor booth, because it's a legitimate thing. It was annoying that it didn't accept that as a, yes, that's fine, go ahead. So now that we have the ability to use visitor booths to light that room up, we don't have to, replace, and it makes it a little bit slicker. And I want to have this as a really nice, tight visitor room so that we can, have our visitation coming in here, which I think will be awesome. We'll have it at the top because that's where they come in from the edge of the map. And then we can have a secure door here at the bottom for our prisoners to use. And we'll get ourselves a little bit of paving stone that can come out from this door, out to here. Lovely. And on the other side, oh, should it be paving stone or concrete tiles? I feel like it should be concrete tiles, actually. Let's see. Yeah, okay. So I'll need to redo these as well. Which is a bit of a bummer. I'm going to, waste a bit of money here, but I always get them mixed up. I don't know why. That's fine. So we'll get that down like that. Stretched across. Bish, bash, bosh. We'll get it down here as well. And there we go. Our paths are all back in and running. Excellent. We may as well, I tell you what, let's get a couple of lights dotted about on each of these corners. Like this. Sure, why not? We'll have them all diagonal like that. And then a couple down here as well, just to keep this area lit in the evening times. I don't want to put floodlights everywhere, but having a couple of lights on each of these things, I think will be kind of nice. So, good. This guy doesn't yet have a cell because he hasn't got solitary, but that's okay. We're going to build solitary as part of Cellblock A, which is going to come in up here. Now, the question is, while all of this is happening, while the fences are getting completed, how are we going to deal with Cellblock A? It's something to think about, because I feel like building just a block is the easy way. Yeah? It's the easy way to go. It's kind of the lazy way, though. Now, the only good thing about doing it as a block is the fact that if I do it as a block, it's going to be, easily manageable so far as temperature goes. Because it is a very cold prison. It's going to be very nippy, and keeping these guys warm is something that I need to, keep on the front of my mind at all times. Who's this guy? It's Mark. They only show their first name now. That's interesting. Huh. Oh no. Yeah, right. Okay, cool. Never mind. So, whoever that Mark guy was, I think I recognize him. I think I've seen him before. So, let's have a think. Let's have a ponder. How are we going to have this cell block so that it doesn't look Blandy McBlainface? How about if we have some planning and we have a centralized corridor that starts up like this, right? And there's sort of a door that comes in, and then that can go either way. Yeah? Okay. So this is looking fairly bland so far, right? Single door, single corridor, and we will have a 2-wide corridor in each direction, and then a single corridor that leads up the center, right? Now, the intention I have here, or should we, let's have a 3-wide corridor up the center. Oh, look, yes. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, so we're going to have a bunch of internal cells. Let's have them 5 by 5. And we can have them all backing onto each other. Like this, and like this. Alright, so it is, I'm making a blocky cell. I'm still making it blocky. Which is what I explicitly intended not to do. That's fine. That's fine. Let's go with then, after this, we'll have another 2-wide corridor, and then we'll have a couple of solitary cells up the top here. Yeah, yeah, okay, cool, cool, cool. Uh-huh, yes. I just want to, it's going to be blocky because it's a cell block. So there's a certain amount of blockiness that is inherent with this. Right. So we can have some 5 by 5 cells in the center here, another corridor up the side, and then across to the left and the right, let's have ourselves some 4 by 4. No, they have to be 4 by 5, don't they? So they're 3 by, 3 by 2. So we'll have some slightly lower quality ones, and they can come down like this, and then we'll extend this first corridor so that it comes across like this. Yes. And then this whole front section here, I'd like to have this as a common room. I think that's nice. I think that's nice. And we need, right, so off our 2 wide corridor here, we need to have 4x5. Yes, okay, good. Very nice. 4x5, 4x5, all the way down, just like that. What's happened here? Why did I get teleported? Huh, anyway, let's ignore that. Okay, good. I think that that's a fairly nice way to go. That's a fairly nice way to go. Now, the next thing I need to ponder is, I've got solitary, I've got 2 grades of cell in this block. It's a pretty nice way to start. Do I want to take this the next level and think about building in a canteen? Or am I going to get to that later? I feel like we'll get to that later. What I'd like to do is have blocks that are sort of self-sufficient, right? So that we can keep expanding this as far as we need to, and each time we need to, we just clone a block out and we're done. But for now, let's keep this as a standalone block that's going to stretch this whole section here. The other thing that they've fixed evidently is these planning lines. Before, when you created the foundation, they were getting deleted in the first iteration of this pack, or this patch. So it's been hotfixed to fix that up, which is really, really nice. So that's taken care of. The fences we will move and extend up. Well, they should already be happening, shouldn't they? Yeah, they're already planned out. Okay, so they are slowly happening. We are getting a little bit ahead of what our workmen are able to do. So maybe we should slow down and just do 1 or 2 things less at a time. Alright, well, with that in mind, because I don't want to hire any more workmen, with that in mind, let's leave that for now. We'll let these foundations get formed. We'll let these guys mill their way about, and I feel like feeding our prisoners is already starting to become a problem, because we've only got 2 cooks at the moment. So let's get ourselves 2 more. I should bust out the spreadsheet. And see what's required. Let's go another 2 after that. So I should bust out the spreadsheet and see what's required to keep these guys fully busy, and keep them able to fully keep up with what all the prisoners' eating requirements are. And I'll do that between episodes just to make sure that I'm okay. And you know what? I'm going to change this out. Because we've currently got 24 prisoners. I'm going to just stop that at 32. Because I feel like 32 is probably a lot of people to cram into this tiny room, and probably too many people to be eating at this many benches during the day. So we may need to look at extending a few of these bits and pieces, but hopefully a lot of that should come in with this new cell block. So what are we going to get out of this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 12... And then, yeah, so 20 people in this area. That's not bad. That's pretty good. I'm kind of happy with that. We'll still have some people laying about in the holding cells, but at least this gets us, a good head start. If I wanted to be even more frugal with my space, I could make these 4 in the center dormitories. And in fact, that may not be a bad idea. So it changes it from, 8 here to 16 jammed into this central area. May not be a bad idea. I'll keep that up my sleeve and see if that's something that I want to do. But the fence line is still sort of in progress. This is still in progress. We can probably now have a look, now that a few of the other activities are starting to be taken care of, we can probably have a look at getting our visitation wing up and running. So all we're going to need for that is the visitor tables. And I'm going to put these in before, prisoner there, visitor there, great. I'm going to put these in before declaring the room, just so that I can get it all built out and be fully prepared. We're going to get ourselves a couple of lights in here, just to make sure that this place is properly lit. I probably don't need this many, but that's fine. And let's get ourselves a radiator as well. Do I need one either side? I feel like I possibly do. probably don't, but I'm going to put one either end just to make sure that this is completely and utterly warm. And then I need to look at plumbing this whole area in. So we're going to need some power, and that can come up through the fence line here. That should be fine to just nip in just one notch like that. And I'm going to need water. So where's my nearest hot water boiler? It's all the way down here, isn't it? That's a little bit too far away. With the intention that I'm going to plumb in hot water for this cell block, I'm going to bring this over to here. I'm going to then plumb the hot water across like this, up to there, and then down and across to there. Good. And that way, with this here, I would hazard a guess that this should reach all the way down. I'll cross my fingers. I may be wrong, but it should reach all the way down, and this block should be able to get both heating and hot water for everyone that's going to be in there. And I think that'll be lovely. Ooh, you know what? Once we explore to the north and we reveal where this lake is, I could extend these two corridors and have them come up and around the lake and have like a lake yard in the middle of the cell block. Oh man, that'd be lovely. Yeah, I'm totally doing that. That's exactly what I'm going to do. Great. Okay, so where are we with everything? We've got tax relief underway, maintenance has been researched, and we can now hire up our warden, not our warden, our foreman, and we can get groundskeeping and cleaning underway. I think the warden can probably go on with the intention that the next one we're going to do is the health grant, health and psychology. He could probably push into that, but I'll get prison policy first, just so that we can keep an eye on what's going on there. And then we'll get these guys and then push into security and start looking at deployment, intelligence. That way we can get our logistics set up and that sort of thing. Meredith's working on our initial tax relief, which is going to, you know, sort of chooch down our outgoing expenses. We'll hire this guy next time when we can build his office, and we'll get our groundskeeping team up and running. And yeah, that's it. The snowy slammer starting to take shape, starting to get ahead with cell block A, and yeah, starting to come together. So, guys, thanks for watching. Do let me know what you think in the comments below, and if you've got any ideas of mutators you think would complement this prison, then yeah, please let me know downstairs in the comments. And otherwise, just, you know, say hi in the comments below. Let me know what you think. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you next time.